Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Delivering Certainty at Peak, Late Cutoffs, and Flexible Fulfillment. So this is the second webinar in our peak season webinar series. And today I have Jonathan Hales with me from nShift, who will be taking you through the topic of today. And I'll also be popping in once in a while with data and questions for Jonathan. And my name is Lotte, and I am head of regional campaigns here at nShift. And throughout the webinar, you are free to ask questions, and you can put them in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll then pick them up at the end of the webinar. Also, I want to mention that this webinar is recorded, and the webinar will be sent, or the recording will be sent to you afterwards, alongside with the slides that we're also showing today, and this will also be available on our website. And with that, I'll hand over to you, Jonathan. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Thank you, Lotte. Yes, I appreciate everyone's time today. And yeah, please make sure those questions are coming through during the session. So my name is Jonathan Hales. I'm a little bit about myself. I've been with nShift in a variety of sales roles for about 5 years now. I was previously in an alternative company within this market as well. But I've been working with some of our larger retail customers, some UK-based, some European-based, stretching out to North America and Asia, amongst other regions as well. I attend quite a few industry events now, and this is where I attended what looks like a silent disco, but it was actually at the Deliver event in Amsterdam. I had great moves that day. But I also, in my part-time, this is what I do every weekend. I'm a football referee, and as you'll be aware, this basically means that I'll be verbally abused by anyone from a 10-year-old child to a grown adult on a regular basis. The more I see myself on the screen, though, the more I seem to think that the AI versions are better. So my personal branding is something which I possibly will take a look at, and I actually enjoy the old AI version of me, perhaps a lot more than I do my reality. But it's all about image, it's all about brand, and extending that brand and ensuring that, as far as I'm concerned, it really works positively. So this is what we'll go along with for today. Having worked with brands in a variety of markets, we all understand the efforts we all go to ensure we look great. We have the best products and the services and hope that they will be enough to secure happy customers and future sales. But we are also very much aware that one mistake or one unplanned error can bring all of that crashing down. Ultimately, your end customers are looking to make a purchase, and they want to receive it on time, especially at this time of year, no matter what the challenges that are being brought to all of us. As I go through this presentation, I will be asking lots of questions, not necessarily for you to respond to immediately, but hopefully for you to take away, to review, to discuss. I'll be happy to engage and follow up after today's event. So looking at the agenda and a few items, what should we be considering? There are many factors we can take a look at, all impacting the operation, but mostly importantly, impacting the customer experience. As a football referee, I have always been advised to control in advance whatever is possible to ensure that there are fewer problems during the game. This might be to check the goals are safe and secure, make sure corner flags are correctly in place, that the ball is correctly inflated and not damaged, and to ensure that all the players involved have the correct kit, not wearing anything that may cause injury. Ultimately, we do not want any chance of apportioning blame for a mistake or problem that was predictable and putting the game at risk. The same philosophy must be taken in retailer fulfillment. Is everything that is predictable accounted for? If so, and there are still things, unpredictable things, that bring challenges, then how do we rectify with backup options? We will also be looking at regional fulfillment patterns and then returns as being part of the second and almost most important peak period of the season. So, setting the stage. It's all well and good to have your products in your retail unit, your warehouses, It's all fine to have the best systems to get that product marketed and then prepared for collection. But are these shipments being processed and being collected by the correct carrier, providing the correct service? Will it be predictable? Do you have full visibility? And does your end customer have visibility via a communication platform of their choosing? And then, what happens when things go wrong? A third of all UK shoppers had problems with deliveries in the peak of 2024. 85% of those shoppers will not return. If one carrier on your panel is not delivering to expectations, how will that impact the retailer's reputation? This is peak season globally. For many, the one time that can actually dictate whether the year has been successful and profitable. And then, what are the longer term effects on reputation? Can you be sure it will be a positive one? It has to be vital to be prepared for the worst case, but then to be able to celebrate the success. Don't take a chance. The key challenge is balancing a customer experience with back-end flexibility. So we must think about the customer journey. Right from the purchase process through checkout. Is this being overlooked? Is checkout engaging? Simple offering everything the customer needs to have. Make the checkout process feel secure and predictable for the customer. To prevent them from abandoning their purchase just because they can't find a delivery option they are happy with. This can be achieved by creating a seamless experience through the clear pricing, eliminating unnecessary steps, using familiar options like one-click checkout, offering guarantees like free shipping or price locks. Psychological principles like the certainty effect are leveraged. Now, the certainty effect is where people prefer a more certain outcome, in this case, the delivery of a service date and time, over a chance-based one, making them feel more secure and reducing the feeling of uncertainty that leads to cart abandonment. Apologies. Are options being provided for delivery? Are they relevant to your customer and the location? Being predictable and recognizable will provide your customers with added confidence. Provide a checkout with clear options, clear pricing options, clear delivery times. While cutoff times can vary by industry, the standard collection has traditionally been around 2 p.m. However, as customer expectations continue to evolve, businesses should now be aiming to extend these times to 3 p.m., even 4 p.m. as a standard, just to stay competitive. Could you actually manage anything later during peak season? Could the carrier guarantee deliveries with later collections? Offering later cutoff times can have a significant effect on your business. Meeting and exceeding customer expectations is key to driving sales and fostering loyalty. Not only does it give you a competitive edge, but it also increases the likelihood of repeat customers. When customers have a great experience at peak season, they will be emotively connected to the brand. So how do we overcome challenges? While extending your cutoff times requires careful planning, a good carrier management solution provider should be able to help you support this. Ensuring the carriers can collect orders later in the day is essential. Buying power and volume should also mean that you can negotiate favorable terms. Because obviously we recognize that later pickup times possibly means higher costs. But optimize those carrier services. Peak periods require seamless operations from your warehouse and operations team. Be agile, even at peak times. Outsourcing your carrier management creates the potential for business growth. There are many benefits to outsourcing, but it's important to choose the right partner to reap the rewards of these benefits. But always remember that choosing a partner that takes the customer journey, the customer experience, whilst removing the headache and overhead from you operationally, taking it totally seriously, is going to be key to your strategic success. You must offer a variety of shipping and delivery choices for customers, such as buy online, pick up in store, if stores are your thing, curbside pickup, same-day delivery, shipping directly from a store. These options allow businesses to adapt to customer preferences and to utilize various locations like retail stores or distribution centers to fulfill orders from multiple locations. The goal is to provide convenience and to meet customer expectations in a competitive retail landscape, but also to utilize the resource that retailers have at their disposal. These are perfect opportunities to meet your end customers' emotional connections. Peak season is personal. It's important to everyone to get it right. Nobody wants to be waiting for a delivery that doesn't arrive, or be given the wrong or inaccurate tracking information. The final mile is an opportunity to extend your brand, cement your engagement with your customer.
Yeah. So I just wanted to pop in with some real world examples to support what Jonathan just said. And going back to what you said around delivery options, we have a good example in our customer Flying Tiger Copenhagen, which I guess most of you know, selling a lot of creative stuff. So their previous checkout automatically assigned PUDO points, and they didn't reveal the location of this PUDO point until after shipping. And of course, this is quite frustrating for customers because they don't know where it will land after until after they made the purchase. But by integrating solutions, Flying Tiger optimized their checkout. So now the customer can select the PUDO point that works best for them, and with confidence that there will be no issues when it comes to the delivery or collection. So the result for Flying Tiger is a more smooth checkout and more transparent checkout, which has led to actually 20% increase in conversions. So that's quite a lot. And another example we have around how to scale for peak, we have with our Danish customer ProShop, and they sell about anything online from kitchenware to toys and so on. And for Black Friday, their online orders increased by 300%, so quite a lot. And of course, it's critical that they have a stable and scalable system in place. And they use the robotic warehousing system called AutoStore at their warehouse. So of course they need a delivery management system that matches this kind of automation at their warehouse. And they have a deadline of a maximum 5-minute handling per order. So when they have an order coming in, it must only take 5 minutes until the order is then ready to be shipped. So if they had their own delivery system in place, they would have to stop and update and maintenance this system all the time. But with an automated delivery system in place, they have zero downtime because it's just automatically updated at all times. And this is, of course, crucial for peak. And the last example we have on this slide is our customer Quiz, who sells clothes. And as a clothing retailer, they of course have high return rates. That's just how it is. And in order for these return volumes not to eat into their margins, they have digitized their handling process. So this digital process gives them visibility both for the customers on where is the return sitting in the journey from the customer back to the warehouse, but also visibility for the staff handling these returns when they come into the warehouse. They can see them coming in, and in that way plan better at the warehouse. Also, this digital returns process allows for Quest to provide QR codes from the different carriers to customers, enabling freedom of choice in return options, which of course is also a plus. And having just a good returns process and a good return policy is something that customers check out when they visit a retailer's website, and can often make or break whether they choose to shop with that retailer or not. And returns is also something that Jonathan will tell you more about later. So back to you, Jonathan.
Yes, thank you, Lotte. Yeah, I mean, returns is obviously a key thing that we need to very much focus on, and ensure that that works within our system and our fulfillment channels, but also making sure that it works for the customer. And I will mention a bit more about that in a moment. So carrier agility at peak is absolutely vital. Do not rely on a single carrier or service. We are all aware, and I'm sure experienced before, where a carrier becomes unavailable. Maybe strike action is being taken. Perhaps a more technical issue may be hitting our systems, a hack or a faulty update to software. We've all experienced that in the last couple of years. But what is your backup? Do you have a backup? How do you manage your carriers in real time? Is this even possible? Having the agility or the ability to change in real time at a time that is the most important to retailers, and therefore having the right technical partners in place to allow you to change without the need for complex recoding or long wait times for support tickets to be responded to by IT teams. Having a multi-carrier strategy is obviously important for the bigger retailers shipping millions of parcels at this vital time. But for those small to medium businesses, it may be the difference between profit and collapse. And this applies to returns as well as outbound shipments. We're going to take a few regional series of information here. And I'm just going to hand back to Lotte just to kick this one up with the Nordics, because obviously being Nordic based, it will be a bit more closer to home for her.
Exactly. Yeah, and we put these data in here if you're a retailer in these regions or you're shipping to these regions for something for you to consider. So looking at the Nordic data, 84% of consumers shop online monthly, and 73% buy cross-border when shopping online, which of course is driving the need for clear delivery visibility. And lastly, 77% prioritize choosing pickup location. And I can really vouch for that, because I would say almost all of my online shopping is being delivered to a pickup location and not to my home. And I think that's really a key metric for the Nordics, that we like pickup locations. Yeah, and over to you, Jonathan, for the UK.
Yeah, and obviously UK and Ireland is a little bit closer to my heart here as well. But we find that over 1/3, and these are independent sources providing this information, but over 1/3 of UK e-commerce orders are placed between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. Yet, how many brands actually set their cutoff times that align with that? How many brands actually cut off the times after the 3 to 4 p.m. slot? Surely that's missing all of the late day demand. Nearly 40% of UK retailers fail to meet their advertised delivery times, highlighting a gap between customer expectations and fulfillment reliability. So what are the implications? Reliability issues can damage conversion and retention. Remember, we are looking to increase loyalty by providing a first-class service. In the UK and Ireland markets, late cutoffs and clear fulfillment promises can win incremental sales. How many retailers are providing carrier services that may hold a customer's preference? What I mean by this is, seeing as many of us are still working from home, I include myself here, do the retailers realize that customers are now looking to use their preferred carrier? Maybe they would like to avoid strangers approaching their properties. Maybe they enjoy a quick chat with a delivery person. A great example that carriers are extending the brand. So when we're using our preferred carriers, please make sure that they are the ones that are providing you with the best service. They are an extension to your own brand. Lotta.
Sorry about that. Jonathan was eager to tell about Benelux. So data showing that in Benelux they are seeing a 72% parcel volume spike during Black Friday week. So from Monday to Sunday that week, which of course is, I'm guessing, quite usual for most markets to see a spike during this week. And fulfillment agility is of course key here. Now, looking at delivery options, we are seeing 35% preference for out-of-home delivery options. So this could enable a later cutoff and a smoother last mile. This thing about the smoother last mile is, of course, that we have fewer failed deliveries for these out-of-home options because for a home delivery, people need to be at home to receive it, of course. And that's not the case for out-of-home deliveries. Lastly, looking at the DACH region, so that's Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, 78% of retailers call shipping a top cost driver. 1 second, my window is doing some issues. Good, and we're seeing that 61% of deliveries in the DACH region is actually delivered in 1 to 2 days. That's quite a high number. And 28% are delivered in 3 to 5 days, and 7% are delivered in 24 hours. So the DACH region is quite used to fast delivery, and of course something that is worth considering if you're a retailer in this region or shipping to this region. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lotta. So we move on to what we are calling here the second peak. So we all are very much prepared, I'm sure, for this peak period leading up to the end of the year. But what happens once everybody has had their deliveries? What happens when things are getting returned? So we are calling this the returns season, the second peak. Can you predict your return volumes? If so, are you prepared for this second peak of activity? Please do not consider returns as an afterthought. Logistically, this second peak of activity provides the opportunity to resell returning items. Advance notice that a perfectly good item is being returned will cut down on the processing time to get the item back on shelf. Open up the ability to return your return via your own stores, if you have them, and concession stores. So again, getting that item back onto resale is a simple, seamless operation. Returns is an additional and vital service that retailers should be providing to their customers to ensure that there is a sense of loyalty between both parties. The retailer is supporting the customer, and the customer is able to have full confidence they are being looked after. It is all about brand extension. We have a screenshot here just showing an example of what returns should be looking like in terms of a selection of carrier services. Don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to a single carrier or a single service. That might not be what the customer is looking for. So key takeaways for today. Customers demand clarity and control after they have committed their hard-earned money to the purchase. Retailers need flexibility and an agile carrier strategy. Use what is out there. It's very possible to make the solutions available to you to work in your favor. Late cutoffs, they are an opportunity, but they also offer an operational challenge to be taken on. There are regional expectations that will vary, and do not limit your return service. Think of this second peak as being an opportunity to further engage with your customer. Ultimately, We are talking about the customer journey. Make this a positive experience, and hopefully the beautiful branding and the quality product will be supported into 2026 and beyond.
Yes. So what is next? And thank you for all of this, Jonathan. We're not quite done yet, but I just wanted to tell you a bit about what is next. So as I mentioned in the beginning, this webinar is the second in our webinar series of 4. Next one up is Wednesday next week around Logger sustainability and smarter delivery choices. And if you after this webinar can't get enough of how to prepare for peak season, we also have a report that you can dive into. It's sitting here. If you scan the QR code that's on the slide right now, you go to the landing page for the report called Fail-Proof Peak Season, Practical Strategies for Smarter Delivery and Logistics Resilience. But you can also find it on our website, of course. And now, before going into the Q&A that we have on the next slide, I just wanted to bring up a quick poll on the screen. So this is asking you a simple yes, no question. Should be on your screen right now, and I'll keep it up for a minute or so you can answer. And while you're answering, let me take a quick sip of water. Good. I can see answers are coming in now, so that's good. I'll be keeping the poll up for half a minute more or so. Once you answered, it'll just leave your screen. Good. So, Jonathan, let's see what questions we have gotten in through the chat or the Q&A. There's 2 sources here. Okay, so first question in is, where should I, as a retailer, start if I want to be more agile for Black Friday?
It all starts with the customer journey. Take a look at that customer journey. What is the customer looking for? Are you offering a series of carrier services? Is it, are you just looking in the UK, you're looking to use Royal Mail for delivery, which is very standard, very traditional. There's so many options available now, whether that will be drop boxes, local stores, the InPost, those sort of boxes, the Collect Plus type stores as well. Take a look at those. But people are becoming much more conscious as well, socially conscious, and obviously worldwide, globally conscious. Green options should be included as well. So give the options out there. Make sure that the customers have their choice, so they can choose which option they're looking for delivery. Same thing goes for returns. Make sure the services are there. Don't rely on a single service. Make sure you've got the technology in place that if a carrier is giving you a few challenges for a particular reason, for a particular region or particular country or market, then you can change them and be able to change them quickly. You don't want to be missing out on a peak season due to the fact that carriers are not performing it, to your standards.
Great. So you are saying check out the checkout, start at the checkout, and also
Absolutely.
the returns bit.
Check out the checkout. That's it. I think that's the ways to go forward with.
Actually, I have another question coming in that's also around checkout. You kind of answered the first part of the question, which is what kinds of delivery, well, let me just put it out there. What kinds of delivery options and number of options are ideal in the checkout?
You don't want to overload it. Obviously, you don't want to make the screen complex. So I would suggest, preferably in certain regions, to have a doorstep delivery, perhaps a box delivery, a central location delivery, that sort of thing. But obviously, we also look at your stores. If you do have stores, then use those as drop locations as well. But don't forget the green there, the option as well. But maybe 3 or 4, maybe as a maximum.
Yeah, it can become too much. That's true. Okay, we're actually up on time. We still have one question left, but we'll answer that by email instead. And thanks for sending in those questions. That's really good to see. So just want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's webinar. And remember to join the webinar next week on Wednesday. And thank you, Jonathan, for being part of the webinar today.
Thank you, and good luck to everybody through their peak seasons.
See you.